So yeah, y'all look at the video. My last video is in the description. Okay, just go click on it. But I want you to really pay attention to that chart. But what I also want you to understand is the birthright. Okay, never this birthright goes all the way back. You can even go follow that all the way back to the Bible. Okay, birthright. Your birthright is very important, and you don't want to relinquish that right. You don't want to give up that right for trinkets or because you just tired. Okay, because the birthright it's the greatest inheritance, but it also comes with the greater burden. Okay, so but if you give it up, you're giving up, and I'm gonna prove it to you. If you give it up, if you give up your birthright, and I'm talking about us as a nation of people, Black Americans, African Americans, right? Um, because we're one of the foundational groups of America. We got the indigenous, like I said before, you have Black Americans, and then you have white Americans. Okay, so those are the three foundational groups. We cannot afford to not vote and run for office consistently and in every single election. Black people. Okay, that's our birthright. I'm gonna give you an example. Okay, way back in the day, and there are countless examples of this, but we can't make the same mistake. All right, so let's go back to the continent of Africa for a second. Okay, when they started doing the trades and everything, and then here came the slave trade. Okay, and then here comes people bringing them things, worthless things, right, for not only their people but for their land. Those things are your people birthright, your land birthright. Ever since, ever since they've been struggling to get out of that hole, the entire continent. Let's go over here to the United States of America. Okay, the indigenous people. The Europeans came, they chopped it up. When I say chopped it up, I'm talking about in African American vernacular English. That means chit chat, hang out, chit chat. Okay, they chopped it up. Okay, and then they started. Okay, I'll give you this much land, contracting their land out. Well, can we stay here and y'all indigenous, y'all move out? Y'all move over there? Y'all move over there? Sure. Okay, sure. And then it kept going and kept going and kept going. They kept, okay, I'll sign that real quick. Yeah, let's go eat. Y'all want some more alcohol? Signing away your land. That's your birthright. Signing away your people. Birthright. We can go all the way back to the Bible if you want to. Let's go back. Let's talk about Jacob and Esau. Esau was tired. He was hungry. He was tired. Man, great day. And his brother came over, Jacob, and was like, I give you some food if you give me your birthright. Esau was so freaking famished that he did it. The worst mistake he ever made in his life. Changed everything. There are some things, I'm telling y'all, there are some things you just cannot give up. In the past, let the past teach you. Let the word of God teach you. You do not give up that birthright. Sure, politics is slow. Sometimes it feels like, oh my gosh, whatever though, because if you go and look up the burden of those with birthrights, even if like you're an older child and whatever, and certain things would happen, you know, the older child watches the younger siblings. You see what I'm saying? Like the burden, my burden was heavier. You see what I'm saying? Your parents who were fighting the civil rights. The burden was heavier on the older. But we have to continue to carry that birthright. Okay. And oh my gosh, well, I gotta vote. Yeah, you gotta vote. Because you're gonna give up your spot. You're gonna give up your spot. What you're saying is, I don't want it no more. Take it from me. And then you're saying, okay, now can I beg for it back? Let me tell you. And just what I said alone. When nations or people have sold their birth, you fight for your birthright. You don't let people just roll up. Okay? You fight to the death for their birthright. Okay? You don't let people roll up. That's how important it is. You don't let people roll up. Okay? That's like everything. Okay? We can look at the world today. Okay? And you can almost pinpoint who gave up their birthright. We're in a whole other era now, right? We cannot be the ones to give up our birthright. The bull crap. We cannot be the ones, because I'm telling you, it's hard to get out of that bad boy once you give it up. The Bible even said, look at is it Hebrews? I'm going to put it up. Look at what it says. You can't, that thing, you be stuck. You be struggling. That goes for anybody. Matter of fact, that goes for anybody, hands down. Don't give people what belongs to you. Now we're in a different era in time. Black Americans, we have a birthright. We have to care for. We have to fight for. Our ancestors fought for that. Slap. Our ancestors fought for that. Wake up, young folk. Wake the flip up. You don't want your birthright. When you don't vote, and then you're okay, well, voting. You ain't lived long enough to see change. That's why you hadn't seen change. Okay, so does that settle that? Well, I don't see any change. Yes, I've seen change. Ask my grandparents and ask my parents. Oh, no, I've seen change. I've seen change in my lifetime. If you just got here, maybe not. You're on the tail end of the change already didn't happen. Now you have to affect it by voting. You have to keep your birthright. You have to keep that birthright. For real. That's just the bottom line. You will lose it if you don't fight for it. And it's worth fighting for. It's worth fighting for. I can say so much. I might even make another part to this video, okay? But if that didn't convince you, I can go a little deeper, okay? I can go a little deeper. But understand, look at those scriptures, go back and understand birthright and what you have, and it's your responsibility, young folk. Don't listen to anyone telling you, don't vote. Because they want your birthright. It's a trick. They already convinced some of y'all. It's a freaking trick. Oldest trick in the book. And put your vote where it counts. I'm not one of these people who say, I'm not going to tell you to vote for. No, the flip, I am telling you to vote for. Because some of y'all don't know what the flip y'all do. Listen, you vote Democrat. Because that's where our political power is. And that's where the bills are coming forth from for our nation of people, for Black Americans. Republicans ain't making them. And most of the Black political power is in the Democratic Party. Kadur.